In recent years, the world's major automotive powers have elevated new energy vehicles to national strategies. China has been more proactive and systematic in promoting the development of new energy vehicles. Currently, we classify voltage levels as follows. Safe voltage is usually 36 volts or less. We set the safe voltage at 42 volts, 36 volts, 24 volts, 12 volts, and 6 volts. Low voltage only to ground at 1 kV or less, high voltage to above 1000 V for power transmission or above, or above 380 V for electricity distribution. Hazardous voltage refers to alternating current of 25 volts or more and direct current of 60 volts or more. The maximum contact voltage permitted by vehicle manufacturing standards is 30 volts AC and 60 volts DC. Generally, the voltage of new energy vehicles ranges from 300 to 650 volts. Although classified according to national standards, it belongs to the low voltage range. But in order to distinguish it from traditional diesel locomotive 12-volt power supply, we usually call it high voltage. For maintenance personnel, if they do not comply with the standard operating procedures, it could result in electrocution and burns in the case of minor injuries, or death in the case of serious injuries. Therefore, maintenance technicians must be trained in new energy electric vehicle maintenance and pass an examination. When it comes to maintaining the high voltage components of a new energy vehicle, it is important to look up the relevant maintenance requirements and information in the maintenance manual in advance to ensure that the relevant protective measures are in line with the needs of the current operational task. Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about high voltage safety measures for new energy vehicles. As a repairer, the health of the appliance must meet the requirements of the practice. Some parts of hybrid and all-electric vehicles can be very magnetic, such as car charging piles, onboard car chargers, remote transmitters, signal antennas for keys, permanent magnet motors, especially in new energy vehicles where the power of the electric drive is high and the motors used work with strong magnetic fields. This magnetic field is generated by permanent magnets or electromagnets. Even when high voltage systems or motors are switched off, magnetic fields are present, especially those generated by permanent magnets. These magnetic fields may affect the functioning of medical electronic devices, especially pacemakers. In order to indicate such hazards, the components should be labeled with the appropriate prohibition symbols. If the technician has an implanted or portable medical electronic device on his or her person, he must be determined to be non-hazardous before performing maintenance on hybrid and pure electric vehicles, and when carrying out maintenance work, it is necessary to keep a sufficient distance from certain components. Some hybrid and all-electric vehicle manufacturers recommend that technicians with implanted or portable medical devices on their bodies not be involved in servicing such vehicles. In addition to the technician's physical fulfillment of the operating conditions, attention needs to be paid to the work personnel protection measures. During maintenance, in areas requiring the use of personal protective equipment, we can see technicians wearing safety boots, helmets, hearing protection, seat belts, and other signs of instruction. These personal protective equipment are designed to prevent physical, chemical, and biological hazards from harming the human body during the labor process. As for the various items worn and equipped among the personal protective equipment associated with high voltage operations, a common safety tool for preventing electrocution of the head is the electrically insulated helmet, especially when working under the lifting stations of hybrid or purely electric vehicles. Technicians must be equipped with electrically insulated helmets with appropriate standards to protect the eyes from impact and other hazards. The technician must wear goggles of appropriate standards. No matter what type of hybrid or pure electric vehicle they are working on, technicians must wear the appropriate standard goggles with side shields. To prevent high voltage electrocution while working, it is necessary to check and wear high voltage insulated gloves. When using high voltage insulated gloves, the technician must inspect the gloves. After the testing, maintenance work can only be carried out on new energy vehicles. Cotton material coveralls provided protection during maintenance of high voltage equipment. This is because clothing made of synthetic fibers will melt at high temperatures and may cause skin burns, and cotton material coveralls can prevent foot injuries from object smashing or stabbing, chemical injuries, electrocution injuries, etc. Depending on the working environment and the voltage requirements of the equipment, technicians need to choose the appropriate level of insulating shoes. No matter what type of hybrid or electric vehicle they are working on, technicians must wear insulated footwear with appropriate standard. Protective work is also one of the safety precautions. Among the protective tools, litmus paper is commonly used to test the acidity or alkalinity of a solution. The electrolyte in lithium-ion battery packs is usually acidic. The electrolyte in nickel metal hydride battery pack is alkaline. If a suspected electrolyte leak is detected, it should be tested immediately with a piece of litmus paper. Determination is based on color change of litmus paper. When facing a fire in a new energy vehicle, we can use a conventional ABC dry powder extinguisher. It is a dedicated fire extinguisher for oil or electrical circuit fires. So how do operators avoid electrocution? Generally, accidents that cause personal electrocution injuries are caused by the following three conditions. Firstly, the human body and the power supply form a closed circuit. This is the most important condition that constitutes an electrocution. So, wearing insulated shoes and overalls, wearing insulated gloves, using insulated tools, and using insulated mats are all effective measures to prevent the formation of closed circuits when the human body touches electrically charged objects. Secondly, there is a link between the 2 points where the human body touches the electrically charged body. Voltage exceeds the safe value. The places where the human body can easily reach, or the appliance uses the safe voltage. The appliance enclosure or structure using protective earthing or protective zeroing are all measures that can reduce the contact voltage. Thirdly, the lethal current passes through the body for a sustained period of time. Electrocutions occur frequently, but most do not turn into electrocution accidents. The main reason for this is that when a human body touches a live body, it can quickly disengage from the power source when it gets rid of the voltage. Therefore, installing an earth leakage protector can effectively limit the duration of the electrocution of an electrocuted person. Lastly, let's find out what safety precautions we need to pay attention to in the new energy electric vehicle maintenance workshop. For workstation requirements, the environment requires clean, dry, and well-ventilated high-voltage operations require special maintenance workstations, high-voltage insulating tools, testing instruments and meters, protective equipment. Maintenance process requirements. Maintenance must be carried out before the high-voltage disable operation. Maintenance should be completed before the power up to confirm that the vehicle is unmanned. The maintenance process is prohibited during the charging of the vehicle, and the cable interface must be tightened in accordance with the standard torque. After replacing high voltage parts, it is important to measure whether the grounding is good or not. In this class, we learned about health precautions, personal precautions, tool precautions, measures to avoid electrical shock, and precautions for maintenance environments. We all need to keep safety in our hearts and minds, and it will stay with us for the rest of our lives. See you next time.